Hey Coconuts, it's Arrow from the Husk, and I'm here with Ryan again, and today we're going to be talking about branding. So, the first thing you want to do when you're branding is you need your name. So, you want to choose something that goes with the type of music you make, first of all. So, usually when you're choosing a name, you want to write down as many as you possibly can on a piece of paper. Just totally brainstorm, like anything you want.
Yeah, whether they make sense or not, take it very, very seriously. A lot of people, whether you're a musician or just, a business, a store, whatever you're doing, you need a name that people are going to remember, that you can expand on, that is fun, it works. A lot of people go into it too fast thinking, oh, whatever name I come up with first is the one I'm going to use, and then they might regret it down the road. You don't want that. Your name is you. It is your business.
You got to be able to explain it too. It's got to really, really make sense for you. So once you've got it narrowed down to 20, maybe get some people to look at that list and get them to tell you their favorites. Try to get that list down to like 1 to 5 names. And then when you get to that point, you're going to want to make sure that these names aren't taken.
Yeah, and what we mean by that is you look everywhere in the market you're going into. So if you're an artist, you want to go search high and low in the depths of the internet, offline, online, everywhere, to make sure that name is not taken or it's not too similar to someone else's. A lot of people think they're creative making a similar name to a big artist. That doesn't help your SEO. It doesn't help in the future. Get something totally unique if you can, and that will help you in the long run.
Yeah, if you have a name that's really close to a really big artist, they have really, really powerful search engine optimization on all of their marketing, and they have people to put money into them coming up on search results first. So they're pretty much just going to drown you out. When somebody looks for them, they're going to get them. They're not going to accidentally get you. Maybe on occasion they might, if you're really good at SEO yourself and you can steal their keywords or something. But otherwise, just try not to do that. And not even in this industry. When we were making Drunken Coconut, we made sure that there wasn't anything that was going to come up really predominantly on the search results. There was one restaurant in like Jamaica or something like that had a website, the Drunken Coconut, and we knew that as soon as we got our website and our blog and our YouTube and SoundCloud, and you get all these links happening that link back to your website, you'll definitely come up above that. But if there's like a really big multi-million-dollar company that's named after you, they're probably going to have your website name, which you're going to want to have. I know websites are they seem outdated and people just have Facebook pages and things like that, but you really want to own your own domain name. It's still a good thing to have. Because if you get famous someday under that name and you really want to own that because someone types in like, I don't know, yourname.com and somebody else owns it, they're going to get really confused. Like maybe another artist will say, oh, I'm going to name myself this and I'm going to get the domain name and then I'm going to charge you like $100,000 to buy the domain name off of me.
Yeah, you want to make your life as easy as possible from the get-go. Whether you're going to go big or not, you want to pretend that you are. And you want to look forward as far as you can. Don't look for tomorrow or a week from now. Look 10 years from now and make sure that the name you're sticking with, you're still going to love and people are going to love. And, it's flawless. You don't want to have to go, dang, I wish I had a different name and I wish I didn't rush into that. The name is your brand and you want your business to grow off that name.
You don't want to get in trouble with somebody else that has your name either, and then you have to like decide who gets to keep it, and people might try to come up and sue you if you went and stole their name or if they're a little bit bigger than you, and you just don't want the legal trouble and you don't want the personal trouble. So get something that you can have your website for, and then all your other social media as well. If you want a Twitter and a Facebook and Spotify, SoundCloud, make sure nobody's got your name, and you always want to try to make sure your handles are all the same, so you're not doing, like, for example, Ryan's is DJ Turtle, and then sometimes he needs DJ_Turtle, and then maybe he doesn't get that on SoundCloud, so he has to do like Turtle the DJ.
Yeah, and it just gets stupid because when I was younger, 17, 18, I created that name off a high school nickname. And it's cool, it's fun, I had a good brand, but now I'm kind of looking back and going, crap, all my socials are a little bit different. And as a curator now, when I receive someone's links or I try to go find them from SoundCloud on Facebook, by myself, since they haven't linked me, I'm trying to type in their name and they won't pop up because they've named their socials something different every time. Or they forget to name their socials. They're just user7896. That is not good.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, like with YouTube, you have to be on for 30 days and you have to have your 100 followers and that kind of thing before you can get your custom link. But make sure you do it. Don't forget.
Yeah.
It makes it really hard for people to find you. It's so easy to list your handles on the bottom of an email or whatever, or you're on your socials. If you just know what they are, you don't have to write them down somewhere. You're just always going to be / the same thing.
And it's just, it's professional. It's tidy. I love it as someone who receives, thousands of demos and talks with tons of artists. I like that flawless smoothness from one to the other. It's great. And that brings us into our next point of when it comes to your branding. After your name, you want to have your logo and your artwork. And that has to stay the same no matter
across all your
doing.
Socials. We want to make sure that people can recognize you right away so they know your handle, they can find you right away, and as soon as they get there, they know, oh, that's the person I'm looking for. I went to the right place because the logo's the same everywhere, the cover photos are the same. You can maybe do a color variation, but it's the same thing.
Yeah, and with the artwork too, you want to be able to know or tell yourself in the future, can I expand on this as well? We start with everything we do, it's always to do with something tropical or coconutty or just really chilled, relaxed vibes, because that's what our brand is. So if you go to our SoundCloud, you'll notice all of our artwork is identical. We just changed the background image, but they all have the same theme. I'm not gonna all of a sudden tell, someone's gonna come to my site and I'm gonna change it to dark black and have this hardcore techno song now, because people are gonna be like, that's not the Drunken Coconut, that's not what they do.
Yeah, there's nothing worse that I find when I go to a SoundCloud or someone's Spotify or whatever, and I'm looking at their album covers, and they all look like they might be reposts because all of their artwork is so different at a glance that they got a different artist every single time. It doesn't look like it's all part of an album like it used to be or part of the same profile. It looks like it could be a whole bunch of different artists' music, and I really like it when it's the exact same artwork, maybe different colors. You put, say you have just a solid color black background that can change every time, and then you have your logo in the middle and your name of the song at the bottom. So you just switch that out, and then when someone goes, you can have a bunch of different colors, but it's the same artwork pretty much.
Yeah,
or the same style at least.
For the example Ariel's talking about, if you go to our Spotify, we have about, 10 to 15 different playlists, and they are all the exact same coconut picture that we had made, and all I do is change the background color to match what that playlist vibe is. I put the sound to the emotion of that playlist we're going to do. So if it's nice and relaxed warm colors, it's going to be a little more chilled and relaxed vibes. If it's dark red, it's going to be a little more high energy. You got to think of stuff like that because it's all about psychology and branding. You want people just to look and know who it is, what it's going to be. Now, we're not saying you have to use the same image every time if you don't want to, but there has to be, you can be creative, you can be unique, but it has to be similar and people know who they are looking at.
Yeah, you can have a completely different type of actual cover photo on the artwork, but you should be using maybe the same font. If you have different photos, maybe they're all different geometric patterns as the background or something that just ties it all in together, so when someone sees your artwork, they go, oh, it's when they're scrolling through their homepage on SoundCloud, you want them to kind of pick out your track, oh, I was waiting for a track for them. There it is. Rather than trying to look through the labels of it, the artwork is supposed to catch someone's eye and tell them you've got a new track out.
And thinking of that, everybody here listening knows that how saturated this market is. So when you're scrolling through anywhere, even on Facebook or anything, you're just scrolling through thousands of posts and probably only 2 or 3 will catch your eye, or you start to know a brand by just the first 2 seconds of what you see. You only have a few second window, couple seconds to capture someone and for them to know who you are. You don't want them to go, is that from the Drunken Coconut? I don't know. I can't remember. Oh yeah, it is. Like, you just want them to go, yep, that's Drunken Coconut. Let's go. You know, that's how you capture people. And having all this, it might take a lot of time and work, and you probably just want to make music and get it out there. But, you know, you have to do everything in this industry. You have to have your branding, the artwork, your name, you know, everything. And you're going to be light years ahead of millions of artists, because a lot of people forget the fundamentals of branding. If you have good branding, you're already going to stick out to me and tons of other industry professionals. If you can send a track over that is linked with all your socials, and, you know, even if you're just starting out, you just have it all and make sure it just flows, and you're gonna do wonders for yourself. Take that extra 2 weeks to a month to get your branding in place, and then start going hard selling your music, because it's gonna be a lot easier. Trust me. Like, you might have the best song in the world, but without a solid brand, you're not sellable. Nobody...
Yeah, it's just first impressions. Everybody's going to leave right away if you don't have it. Also, going back to the social things, I'll just add quickly before we're done. Make sure you have all of your emails correct, all of your contact information, all of your socials, and your website, everything, every link you can possibly link to each other. Every single social media in the description section should have all your other socials and your email and all your contact in there. So that when someone's searching for you, there's links back to your website everywhere. There's links back to the other socials. Google loves it. Always link back to yourself and make sure it's all complete, because I hate it when I'm trying to look how to contact somebody and I can't figure it out, or their links are broken, or...
And that kind of goes back to your one chance to shine. If you send me a link and I'm like, wow, I really like this track, and then I go and check out your socials, because I will. If I like your track, you bet that I'm going to go through and check you out everywhere, because I want to know more about you. It's not I'm not trying to judge you. I want to go see what you're doing. And if a link is broken, I'm done. You've lost me. I'm not going to go by myself and search through. If I go to your Facebook page and then I click your SoundCloud link and it's dead or it's invalid, I'm done. I'm not going through anymore. And I know that sounds harsh, but I just don't have the time, and nor do people that are way up in the industry. They're not going to have any time. If you have one chance to shine, and don't have a silly, you know, something so silly like a link broke. Like, you just don't want that. That's so easy to fix. Check every day, make sure things are working. And if you only want to put the most important socials there, that's fine too. If you have 20 social media pages, but you only use 5 of them, just put those 5.
Yeah, put your best ones on there, because sometimes people will put their SoundCloud and Spotify and they'll have like a few thousand followers on that, and you're like, okay, good, you've been working on that. And then they throw their Twitter in there and there's like 30 followers. And what if the person that was important that you just sent that to opened just the Twitter and went, wow, this person's a nobody. They don't even work on building a fan page whatsoever, and they stop there. So make sure that if you're sending to somebody important, just put your strongest foot forward. You don't have to throw everything in there. Just put the stuff that makes you look good.
It's your showcase. You're telling us what is important.
It's like if you have a portfolio and you're an artist or something, and you're not going to put something you made in high school that was kind of crappy in your first art class or something. Just, you're going to put the stuff that you really, really worked hard on for months. Yeah,
like just put your best. It's a trophy room, essentially. Just think of it as, well, do I want, you know, an A&R from Sony Music to look at my Twitter, to look at my SoundCloud? Would this impress them?
Yeah, if you think you might be a little bit embarrassed and kind of cringy that, like, you're having to show this to somebody if you're standing in front of them. Like, look at my Twitter, I've got 6 followers. Just don't put it. You can still promote it, but they don't have to be a follower of yours yet. Yeah. You can promote it to, like, your friends, and you can still put it on your socials if...
Because, like, for example, for us, now we're with the Drunken Coconut, we're a curator, a blog, a business, so we're not on the artist side of things. We're on the business side of things for helping artists. But when we're giving someone a press kit or a business deck or something, we're not going to put, we have a Twitter, but I don't use Twitter. So I'm not putting my Twitter on that press kit. I'm putting my email, my SoundCloud, and my Spotify, and my website. Those are the 3 or 4 things I will always include. I don't even put my own Facebook page on there because I don't use it. It's not where people grab their information from. So it would just be wasting their time. Like, just don't do it. It's just don't do it.
Yeah, so basically, in short, what we covered is make sure your name makes sense, have a good name, make sure you can get all your social handles, make sure you can get a website, make sure your artwork makes sense with your name, make sure it's cohesive, make sure all your artwork's the same across all your socials, make sure all your socials, your email, your website are all linked on every single one of your socials, make sure the links aren't broken, and you're going to have a great first impression to those that you're trying to impress, whether they're labels, news, blogs, anything.
Heck, even for your friends to go check you out. Just have things working. That's
just
it.
Look impressive.
And once you have that branding, guys, your world, especially in the music industry, is going to become a lot easier for you. And then you can just build off that brand. But always look in the future. 10 years, 20 years. Make sure that when you're a 40-year-old man or woman, you still like that name you chose when you were 18. And
it's not a hard thing to do either. It's something you can do right at the beginning before you've even released any music. Sit down for a few hours. Well, it might take a while for the name. You want to really make sure that's right. Don't just throw anything from your list in like a couple hours. But really just get the ideas down. We're going to do another video after this on a lot of free ways you can do your own graphics. So it's hard. It's not as hard as you think. You don't have to pay hundreds of dollars per artwork to make everything match. It's not like a big upfront cost. It can be free.
Yeah, like don't picture branding as this time-consuming, awful thing that just sucks. It's actually supposed to be one of the most fun parts of your business, of your artist journey. Having that brand and that name stick out, and copyright that name, look into that. It's a lot of fun. Don't let yourself slip with that process. It's really fun. Don't just settle for
Yeah, own your brand.
Own it.
And make sure you have ownership of it, that nobody can steal it. And this is you, and it's the way that you represent yourself. So if you're already established, you've already got a brand, maybe you just go through, make sure those links are working. You can even change your artwork going forward. And
oh yeah, change is completely fine. Like with the Drunken Coconut, we started very basic and minimal, and I didn't start out as a good graphic artist. I wouldn't even call myself very good, but now with the tools that are for free and at my disposal, I've learned how to do it myself, and to this day I have not paid for a single artwork for our company. I do it all in-house by myself for free, and that saves hundreds of thousands of dollars over the years.
Yeah, so definitely take a look out for that podcast coming up, because that's going to be super helpful, that every time you do a track, you can quickly just get some artwork together. You'll have a template that you've made that matches, and you can just edit pieces of it and then get it right up there. You don't have to waste too much time and wait for artists to get back to you and all that. So yeah, that's all we have for today, and keep an eye out for the future videos on branding.